And inside the locker room, everyone trying to lock in, get mentally ready for another hard-fought NBA battle. Welcome, everybody, to another presentation of the NBA live on 2K Sports. This is Brian Anderson, joined courtside by Grant Hill and Clark Kellogg. Our reporter tonight, Allie LaForce. Now a moment to take a look at the year-to-year scoring output and how it's been trending for Kelly Oubre.
Well, his scoring has dipped over the last few seasons, and sometimes that can be cause for concern. But it doesn't always tell the full story. You have to consider his role, his usage, as well as the other ways he contributes to the team.
Here are the five for Philadelphia. George and Embiid are up front. Maxey out there with Quentin Grimes. And it's Oubre in at the three. And for Charlotte, the perimeter tandem, Sexton and Miller. Then it's Ball. Then it's Miles Bridges. And coming into this game, Grant, is it fair to say this feels like it should be a blowout?
Well, on paper, that would be the assumption. But, B.A., this is why we play the games. Anything can happen, and any team can pull off an upset.
Now here's Maxey. He really had an off game against the Bulls. On the wing, Sexton fires from deep. Nails it from beyond the arc.
I mean, Sexton can shoot from anywhere. Strong from beyond the arc.
Outside Grimes fires the three, and the rebound goes to Charlotte. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to the Knicks.
Defensively, they weren't up to the task. Didn't play as a cohesive unit, and it really hurt them.
And, you know, that's all about effort, and I'm sure their coach let them have it for the lack thereof.
And that's what they want to do. Get him open looks early.
And for the Sixers, the growth of Tyrese Maxey has been everything, Grant.
Oh, my. His growth, both with his play, but also with his leadership, has meant a lot. And he has such a joyful energy. It really helps pull this team together. You got to move past that one. I mean, they'd want him to take that again.
Well, you know, I hear you. That's a good look, but when you're that wide open, I think you got to knock it down.
Just taking it right to the rim, and no one was there to greet him.
Well, this early, they should be showing a lot more energy on defense. It's not there.
Oh, got that bucket in no time at all.
Ball shot selection, I think, is improving every year, which is important for his development.
Pass to Maxey. And the officials will call the illegal screen here.
The screener was leaning a bit right there. His feet may not have been planted. Pretty obvious call by the officials.
Yeah, I agree. You know, sometimes that can be a tough call for the refs to make, but not that time. It was easy there.
Knipples checked in for Sexton. Philadelphia also making some changes. Edwards, he's checked in for Paul George. And it's Edgecombe in for Oubre.
You know, Ball is 6'7", so as a point guard, he's got the size to simply shoot over defenders.
Screen by Embiid. Here's Maxey. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Maxey's got 5 points.
And defensively, you have to make him work harder than this, or it's going to be a long night.
You really don't want to allow him to get too comfortable, but even with stifling defense, he's going to still find a way to get it in the basket.
Now here's Maxey. He's got 5. Embiid from outside. The rebound by Bridges. Charlotte has gone 2 of 2 at the perimeter. Here's Ball. And Charlotte again with the bucket. And here in the first, approaching 3 minutes played. Now here's Embiid. 27 points his last game. Six to shoot. Late clock, the Sixers need to put one up here. And we've reached the end of the first quarter. Hornets out in front, leading by 5. And we'll get the second quarter underway on the other side of this break. And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through 1 quarter of action so far. And from what we've seen from the Hornets, what's your take so far?
Well, their offense is clicking so far, capturing the momentum here early on.
Yeah, you know, I agree. No warm-up needed. They came in on fire and have already built a nice lead.
So on the floor for Philadelphia, Jared McCain out there with Maxey. Then there's Edwards. Then there's Edgecombe. And it's Drummond in at the center position.
One of the trickier plays to judge, but it would be hard to argue against the call.
Yeah, you know, the officials aren't nearly as lenient as they used to be on that call. As a matter of fact, I know I got away with a lot of those in my playing days, but that was 40 years ago.
Colin Sexton's checked in for Charlotte. Here's Maxey. Ooh, good D by Plumlee.
Aggressive mindset, but the defender just as determined to send him away empty-handed.
And a quick look at how Charlotte's schedule is shaping up. On Sunday, they'll be facing Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics. And then on Tuesday, they kick off a road trip in Brooklyn, where they'll take on the Nets.
And for that game against Indiana, that's one that could easily go either way. A few mistakes could be the difference. I expect it to be a fun one.
Watford's checked in for Edwards. Maxey, that's good.
Love to see that kind of activity. He just makes things happen.
Here's Sexton, and they cash it in right away with a quick shot. Sexton's got 8 points. 76ers trail by 7. Here's McCain. Drummond, nice persistence to tip it back in.
This is what Drummond is known for, fellas. I mean, assertive, aggressive, relentless, hard-working. He's just a dog at offensive rebounds.
That's a shot he'd like back. He's usually going to make those.
Outside Maxey. To the paint. And the jam by Drummond.
Another day, another chance at the rim for Drummond. This is where he likes to do his best eating.
And timeout called by Charles Lee. He's going to take a moment to give him a breather and talk things over. Charlotte making some changes. Miles Bridges comes in for Diabate, and it's Ball in for Miller. Philadelphia also making some changes. Embiid, he's checked in for Drummond. Oubre comes in for Watford, and it's Grimes in for McCain. So it's Philadelphia now after Charlotte's three-pointer on the other end. And here's Oubre from the arc. Nice start for him, sinking his first shot.
What a response by Oubre. Just coming down and sniping that three.
The three from Ball. Rebound by Philadelphia.
One reason this game is so tight is because both teams are hitting the boards with reckless abandon.
The battle to a standstill on the boards has really been something to watch. The game's not over yet. We'll see if one of these teams maintains more energy than the other going down the stretch.
And this is exactly who you want taking that shot. He just missed it.
Oh, nice shot by Grimes. It's a tie ball game.
That right there, that's the kind of look this system is designed to create.
There's Ball with a three. Carmelo knocks down the long one.
You've got to love the way he's scoring it tonight. Very efficient.
Embiid against Plumlee. And stolen by Sexton. Here's Knippel. Oh, and he just knocked down the buzzer beater.
Ending the first half with an exclamation point. The three-pointer adding insult to injury.
And so it's the Charlotte Hornets leading by 6 as we wrap up the quarter. And it's mostly due to their superb shooting. They've wasted very few possessions. All right, we'll get back to the action after this break.
Howdy, folks. Time for halftime fun. Woohoo! Before we check out the action at hand, first order of business, the power rankings.
Look here now at Charlotte, coming down the final stretch of the season, about a month left. I think they're in a pretty good spot.
Matter of fact, they're in the number 1 spot.
Well, number 1 is a good spot, isn't it, Ernie?
Last I checked, it doesn't get better than that. And now taking a look at that first half action, it was a less than ideal start for the 76ers.
How have they kept it this close? Their D has been invisible. Come on, fellas, get after it.
Yeah, just a few more stops and this score would be totally different. Thanks for tuning in. Now we head back to Brian Anderson for the start of the third quarter.
Second half of basketball is upon us, and we may be in for an exciting finish based on how close of a game we've seen so far. LaMelo Ball with a strong contribution so far in this one.
You just love his patience offensively in the first half. Waited until he got the looks he wanted.
Well, you know what, guys? It was all about efficient offense, not rushing things, taking your time, finding the best shot on every possession.
Miller at the 3 with Bridges at the 4. Colin Sexton out there with LaMelo Ball. So that's who Charles Lee starts in the second half. George with the bucket. And for offensive players, they say that understanding angles gives a big advantage. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, Clark?
I think I can be a little bit. When you think about the geometry of the game, angle, spacing, timing, those things are not what you would think about when you think geometry, but how you cut, how you move, when you move, get to the basket, all of that stuff is part of the geometry of the game.
Here's Maxey after Charlotte's three-pointer on the other end. A clear look for Embiid. Again, Philadelphia.
Love the confidence from Joel. He gets the ball and knows exactly what he's going to do with it before he gets it.
Miller. And the Hornets, another 3.
Excellent execution coming out of the break. They've taken 3 shots and made 3 shots.
And it'll be Philadelphia with their first time out of the game here. Let's take a look at the 2K leaderboard and see which teams are leading the pack in steals right now. The 76ers, 4th.
This team will punish you for sloppy ball control, no question. They've got a lot of fast-handed guys just waiting to take advantage.
And so it's Maxey who brings up the ball for Philadelphia. It's a 10-point game. Pass to Embiid. From behind the arc. Yes, sir! Embiid from distance.
The defense will have to get out on Embiid. He's dangerous at all 3 levels.
Well, Grant, if you had to say, is there anything you think is underrated about Embiid?
You know, B.A., I think it's his intelligence. Joel's a heady player. Sometimes big men don't get enough credit for their smarts on the court. Embiid knows the game.
Maxey, that's good.
Big-time answer by Maxey. Boy, was he dialed in there.
Ball taking his time here. 4-3, returning fire. Melo drains the 3-ball.
A dozen consecutive points off of threes. This defense looks rattled.
And guys, now that they're rolling from out there, the defense has to really get up into them. You've got to almost be in their jerseys to try to deny those looks.
For 3, Maxey, good. And the assist to Embiid. Maxey's got 13.
Hey, we've seen Maxey take the big jump. Now he's one of the game's best scorers.
Here's Sexton. Again, Charlotte.
This is what he gives you night in and night out. Stellar production at the offensive end.
76ers trail by 9. Outside Maxey. Up top, Embiid. Here's Grimes. Just 5 to shoot. And Philadelphia hits again from deep.
Coach is loving the ball movement.
His first shot attempt. Bridges misses. Outside Grimes. Here's Maxey. No good. Misses at the buzzer. LaMelo Ball getting it done for Charlotte, helping them space the floor. 2 triples in that quarter. 3 for the game. More 2K action in just a moment. And it's time now to bring you our State Farm assist to the game.
This is the definition of team chemistry. I love to see this kind of communication and connection between teammates leading to the perfect pass.
For me, next to the big-time alley-oops and monster throwdowns, passes like that are probably the next best thing when it comes to sweet-looking NBA highlights.
And with these teams locked in a very close contest, this fourth quarter promises to be a good one. On the court for Philadelphia to start the fourth. George and Embiid are up front. Maxey out there with Quentin Grimes. And it's Oubre in at the 3, the small forward. So it's the Hornets now, following that last three-pointer by Philadelphia.
Always looking to make an impact and capable of doing so. When Bridges sees a shot, he does not hold back. He lets it fly.
76ers trail by 5. Outside Maxey. Here's George. Embiid a screen on Sexton. 4 on the clock. And the foul called on Paul George. That's his first foul of the game. Charlotte leading by 5. Right side, Sexton. Shoots. He knocks down the jumper.
A nice little J from Sexton. When he's feeling it, he has a good touch on those shots.
The 76ers call timeout. Gives us a chance to catch up with Allie LaForce.
Well, over the break, I listened in on what the head coach of the 76ers is getting across in the huddle. He isn't liking what he's seeing out there on the perimeter, saying to his guys, defensively, we're too lax, and they're getting any 3 they want. And offensively, the ball movement, it isn't crisp, which is why we're not getting many opportunities from outside. I want to see improvement on both ends.
All right, Allie, thanks once again. Here's Bridges. Philadelphia getting their last shot to go. Rises up, 20 feet away, and no problem. And so it's Maxey who brings up the ball for Philadelphia. 7-point differential. Embiid. Oh, the slick fade away. Silky smooth.
You like Embiid's confidence and willingness to step up in the big moment.
And we've got a timeout called by Charles Lee. And a great call on his part. This is the time you want to be in sync right here. Outside Bridges. Puts one up from 19. Book it!
He puts a lot of pressure on your defense when Miles Bridges is aggressive like that.
76ers trail by 7. Here's Embiid. Oh, look out! Joel Embiid!
This has been the story of the game, a battle fought on offense.
Any lull in the action so far has been short-lived because there have been nothing but buckets in this one. Total mix-up right there. They need to get on the same page and fast.
The 76ers have gotten 4 of 5 attempts to fall so far in the fourth. Bridges pulls it down. Well, the Hornets shooting 74%. Just an unbelievable offensive display here. And it's Charles Lee calling timeout here. Great time to call his guys into the huddle at a very tense moment in this game. Knipples checked in for Charlotte. They've led by as much as 10. He launches. It's good from beyond the arc.
And they just continue to attack, even late in the game, while they're up big. I don't think you want to get loose and sloppy or ease up, but it is time for them to start using that clock a bit.
Now here's Embiid. It's a one-on-one situation. Bridges with it. Oubre picks him up. Ball fires. And he buries the jumper.
This is what winning is all about. Playing your best when it matters most.
Yeah, you know, once they got victory in their view, a huge injection of energy and a great run to finish it off.
Here's Embiid. Maxey! Can't get the three. Footer is good. And so it's Charlotte winning this one. Even early on in this game, they appeared happy to be playing at home.
And it makes a huge difference. Once they started to get into a groove, you never really felt like they wouldn't come out on top.
And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Grant Hill, Allie LaForce, and Clark Kellogg, this is Brian Anderson thanking you all for tuning in tonight. And now let's take a look at our player of the game, LaMelo Ball.